Hello everyone and welcome to Battle of the Beast episode 32 of the All Generation. I'm Adam and today we've got a battle between two beasts, obviously. One which I do not really think that highly of and another which I think rather highly of. Now one is popular, one isn't as popular. To put this simply, one I like, one I dislike, but to Lucas, it's the other way around. The one I dislike is the one he kind of likes, and the one I like, or kind of like, he dislikes. And Lucas, just by seeing the title, you know which beast I'm talking about. And I don't see why I'm even hiding this from you guys anymore. But yeah, with the beast that I like, but Lucas kind of dislikes, it's, of course, he has a problem with it because it killed Silver in round 3 of the Old Generation Battle of the Beasts. So, with that, obviously, we're going to introduce the beast now. Representing Series 5, The Shade of Death, Book number 4, Koldo the Arctic Warrior. Now, out of all the beasts that's already fought in Series 5, I know Tremor and the Mixers have. Excuse me. And, okay, that does not help. I cannot see them from over there. I know that, wait. Oh. I think just didn't. But, okay, so I know at least 2 of them already fought. Hawkeye is yet to come, I know, and Rock hasn't fought yet. Crab, I do not know where Crab is. I think Crab has already fought. And if so, I do not remember what he fought, but I'm pretty sure he most likely lost. I do not really know. So with that, Koldo is probably the 4th or the 3rd book from this series to fight. Like I said, I don't know. But I'm sure he'll do fine. He'll be fine. Let's look at his opponent. Representing Series 11, The New Age, book number 5 is Serpio, the Slithering Shadow. So, representing Series 11, Elko has already fought, Tarek, Brutus, and... Okay, Flamar hasn't fought yet, because I actually remember what your opponent is. And Tauron hasn't fought yet either. Right. Yeah, Tauron has not fought yet, neither has Flamar. But Brutus, Tarek, and Elko have, and... God, I do not remember which ones have won. I think 2 of them have made it through. So with that, Koldo versus Serpio. Admittedly, not an interesting looking fight, but I gotta be a bit fair, like, it's kind of like a little battle between me and Lucas, because Lucas likes that one, and I like that one, but we dislike the others. So, with that, we kind of got a bit of a fight between us going on. However, if I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think there's much of a fight here. Good thing this is a round 1 battle, because this isn't going to last long. Sorry, I'm just pointing out the facts. So with that, we'll get to the stats.
Koldo, the Arctic Warrior. This spiky beast is a giant made of ice. Despite his strength, Koldo is gentle, unless provoked by an enemy of Gwildor. There are rumors that the people of the kingdom have tried to capture Koldo, though it is difficult to believe anyone would be so foolhardy. And now, on to his stats. Ice body, ice manipulation, ice regeneration, icy thick hide, immune to the cold, club mastery, and ice club, make him one deadly opponent in the tournament.
Serpio, the Slithering Shadow. Serpio has the body of a giant snake with scales that gleam in the darkness. He was created by the sorceress Kensa using the blood of Archer the mountain giant. And like the beast, he has only one eye with glowing brightly. He can breathe a hail of freezing water, encasing his victims into ice. And now onto Serpio's stats. Ice body, ice and venom breath, flight, immune to his own ice breath, sharp ice fangs, tail whip, burrowing, and 360 vision, making one deadly opponent in the tournament.
So with that, we're going to go into the weaknesses now. My portion. Hello! Koldo's weakness is the fire weakness. So he'll just start to melt. He'll just melt when he's close to fire. So it's a good thing he's not going against Hellion, isn't he? Enchantments. Koldo is susceptible to enchantments. Huh, okay. And Serpio's weakness is his weak point, which is, of course, his heart at the end of his tail. You're such a cool beast, but you have such a bad weakness. Why? I'm not sure I'm biased, but come on, being honest, this is my favourite beast in Series 11, and it has such a bad weakness. Honestly, I think I might prefer Brutus now. That sucks, it really does. Oh, God. This is, it's been a long day for me, okay? Give me a break, it's been a long day. So, with that, let's get into the fight. We're going to have an icy, watery battlefield, so frozen lake. Koldo versus Serpio. Let's get into this.
3, 2, 1!
So as the chamber doors open, Koldo just makes his way out, dragging his club, hoisting it over his shoulder, just marching out, ready to fight. Serpio just bursts through the sky exit and just roars into the arena. Pardon me? He spots his opponent almost immediately and he shoots his ice breath directly towards Koldo. Koldo just stands there, completely surrounded, but and just smashes his club up onto the snow, causing a giant snow cloud to appear. Serpio's breath just freezes that in place, and Koldo, using his club, just breaks right through it, swinging it like a baseball bat, and walks right through it like a golem of sorts. And that is kind of what Koldo is, a golem. And he declares that Serpio must come down to the ground to fight like a man. Serpio, it's probably thinking, I'm not a man, I'm a snake. But he comes down to the ground anyway, diving towards the ground, but doesn't actually go land on the ground. He burrows underground. He makes his way underground, and what he does is that he's burrowing his way to underneath Koldo. Koldo, feeling the vibrations, knows he's underneath, so he brings his club up and brings it down directly on the ground. But Serpio kind of predicted that would happen, so he moved out of the way just in time before, well, you know, vibrations. And Serpio pokes his head out of the ground from a few meters behind Koldo. Koldo turns around and sees Serpio and goes to bring his club down on top of him. But Serpio pulled his head down and puts it back up in another way. Koldo goes over there to do that. It's like whack-a-mole. He does that a few times. Koldo is starting to get a bit tired. And right when he's just feeling a bit nauseated from moving around so much, Serpio springs up and using his tail, wraps it around Koldo's legs and just pulls them from beneath him. Koldo crumbles down to the ground. And whilst trying to get back up, Serpio freezes Koldo in an icy prison. Icy venomous prison. Nice. But the being made of ice, Koldo cannot get poisoned from the poison. Is that a rule I just made up? Maybe. Will Lucas complain about it? I hope not. I know you're rooting for Koldo. So, but Koldo is still stuck in an icy prison, but Koldo, using his just enhanced strength, just breaks right through it. Gets back up and greets Serpio. Serpio, realising that he can't use his main weapon, he charges up towards Koldo and just turns around at the last minute, using his wings to just chip at Koldo's side. Koldo just reels back from that pain, moves his hand, and there's a giant crack made in his eyes, where a giant piece is missing from his cheek. Koldo, in anger, lifts his club up and goes to bring it down on top of Serpio. But Serpio decides that's enough of the club and uses his fangs to bite into it and yank it away from Koldo and throws it over the arena wall. Koldo, in absolute anger, charges towards Serpio and tackles him to the ground. And Serpio, using his tail, wraps it around Koldo's neck and pulls back on Koldo whilst Koldo is trying to strangle Serpio. Koldo, being pulled back, has to use his own hands to just try and pull the tail off. But Serpio lifts his head back up, roars into Koldo's face, and moves his tail as quickly as he can and bites down on Koldo's head. Koldo, using his hands, trying to pry Serpio's mouth open, but Serpio uses his arms to just wrap around Koldo's arms and pull them down around his torso so he can't use them. And he just pulls his... Serpio pulls his head up whilst pushing his body down, and also pulling Koldo's head up whilst pushing Koldo's body down. It doesn't seem to be doing anything because you can't stretch ice. And Serpio decides to do the only reasonable thing and holds Koldo's body firm and using his head just twists his head as far as he can. And holding Koldo's body firm, Koldo's head is forced to turn as well because trapped in a vice of his head, of Serpio's head. He just hears a giant crack coming from his neck, and Serpio hears that as well. And he releases his grip of Koldo, gets him back to a safe distance, whilst Koldo is just standing there, just a bit nauseated, let's say. Serpio can see that Koldo is just using his hands to just twist his head in place. And the wounds on his neck and the cracks have been healed, along with the chip missing from his cheek. And Serpio realised he needs to actually kill Koldo instead of just leave him to die. So what Serpio does, he slithers up towards Koldo, wraps his tail around Koldo's legs and pulls him from beneath him, but this time Koldo was able to use Serpio's mouth as support and pull Serpio's face down, face planted him into the ground. Serpio, not very impressed by that, uses his head to just headbutt Koldo in the head, obviously, smashing Koldo into the ground. And what Serpio does, he flies up to the safe distance. Whilst Koldo's getting back up, Serpio dive bombs down onto Koldo, and pushing Koldo's body into the ground whilst Serpio's burrowing. Koldo is being dragged underground as well, just trying to grab on for dear life, but it's not helping. And Serpio, having a tight grip on Koldo's body whilst just dragging him down on the ground. All Koldo can do is just wait till he's brought back up on top. And eventually he is done, but then Serpio starts flying to where he released his grip off of Koldo, where he's just left flying in midair. He can see his club in the distance, but he can't reach it because that's out of bounds. But right before Koldo could do anything, Serpio uses his tail and wraps it around of Koldo's body and arms, and he brings him up to Serpio's eye level, and using his thoughts to go into Koldo's mind, he says, "Surrender now, or you will face a fate worse than death." Koldo stares into his cold, icy heart and says, "There's no fate worse than death." Serpio took that as a challenge, and spins around in the circle multiple times and just slams Koldo directly into the ground. Whilst Koldo was on the way down, Serpio dives bomb down, and right as Koldo hit the ground, he can feel his back just cracking all over the place. But then he sees Serpio just diving down and smashes right into his head. Koldo goes to raise his hands up to stop it, but his hands were already cracked from that landing. So is his head, and Serpio just plows right through both of them, shattering the hand and the head. The rest of Koldo's body just goes limp and falls down to the ground. And with that, Serpio comes back out from underground, slithers up, and using his tail, he lifts up the remains of Koldo's body. And just to make sure nothing else would happen with this already cracked body, he brings it up and smashes it down on an icy rock, which shatters some of it, but not to his standard. So he uses the rest of it and just slams it into the arena wall, which isn't made of ice. It's made of solid rock, which actually smashes it into multiple pieces. Satisfied, Serpio slithers back to his chamber, ready for the next battle. So with that, Serpio the Slithering Shadow has won and Koldo has lost. If you think Koldo should have won, please in the console the way you think that. However, my word is final and Serpio is moving on to the next round. Now, whilst I know some people are going to be a bit upset that Serpio won but Koldo lost, there's multiple reasons why I gave Serpio the victory. One, Serpio is a hell of a lot larger than Koldo. Two, Serpio is in the cunning personality. So three, Serpio, knowing his weak point, obviously, knows that he needs to protect the end of his tail at all costs. So, whilst he was using his tail a fair amount, which he can use as a weapon, he's obviously protecting the tip of it, that's where his heart is. Also, the ice breath, whilst that didn't help in this battle, will help in the future. His fangs, whilst Koldo could have broken through them, he obviously tried to pry the mouth open just so he can get his head free, but that didn't work because, well, a jaw, along with a jaw, could be stronger than two pairs of hands. But even if that was the case, Serpio was able to just use his tail to just trap Koldo. Serpio, I guess, just has more uses with his body than Koldo does. So with that, I gave Serpio the victory because of these multiple reasons. Will some people still be upset about it? Most likely. No choice I make here is going to be a 100% agreed one. But with that being said, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell down in the corner below, and I'll see you next time.